What a disappointment. President Biden this week heading to Saudi Arabia for a big meeting with a strategic ally. The president just wrote a Washington Post op-ed titled, "Why I'm Going to Saudi Arabia. It's all filled with lies." I'll tell you why, in 2 words: gas prices. So if we are so completely dependent on oil, why is the president turning to a horrific dictator instead of making energy here in the United States, allowing us to be energy independent? Joining me now to discuss, director of the Libertarian Institute, editorial director of antiwar.com, and Freedom Fest goer, Scott Horton. Welcome back, Scott.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you. What is the best case scenario? From an American standpoint, the American president is going over to Saudi Arabia. What would be the best outcome for our fellow citizens?
Well, I think the first thing that he should do is try to prevent the framing of the deal that he has to make with them that will help them to continue their war in Yemen in any way. Instead, he should frame it the exact opposite way. That, listen, Crown Prince, we know you're trying to back down and back out of this war. It's failed. It's been 7 years now. We'll help you disengage. We'll help you make peace. We'll help you negotiate a deal if you'll crank up oil production. And I really don't know how much capacity the Saudis have to spare here, but that's what Biden should be doing. Is his first priority should be ending the genocide in Yemen and worry about the price of fuel, which is really driven by monetary inflation more than any other thing later on.
Yeah, but they never talk about that. It's really interesting. They never talk about the monetary aspect, but how nice would that be if we did have increased oil production and peace and, you know, halt the slaughter of innocent civilians in Yemen? The president says that he's going to push the Crown Prince on human rights abuses, and MBS will probably say, go ahead and eat glass. What you're doing to your own citizens in the United States is worse. You're a decrepit hypocrite.
Yeah, well, and he would have a point there, but you know, I think, as Biden has hinted a couple of times, one of the main reasons he's going over there is they're trying to at least lay the groundwork for something like a new Middle Eastern NATO and form an official military alliance with the Gulf Cooperation Council and Israel in this new kind of anti-Iran alliance, which is just a fool's errand. We shouldn't be doing this at all. We should make peace with the Ayatollah. You know, they did sponsor the bombing of our Marines in Beirut in 1983, but Ronald Reagan sold them missiles just a couple of years after that, and that was 35 years ago. Enough of this Cold War against the Iranians and the Shiites. You know, Biden's mad that Iran has increased their power in the region, but it was he and W. Bush that gave Iran's best friends Baghdad, and it was he and Barack Obama who made the Syrians and the Houthi regime in Yemen more dependent on Iran than ever before. So he's not really in any honest position to complain about this. The new order in the Middle East should simply be withdrawal and peace.
But would the United States ever do that? Because it's really interesting. There are 3 things that every U.S. president wants, and at least one of them is entirely, 2 of them are confounding. They want peace between Israel and Palestine. They want to understand Vladimir Putin, and they are insistent that we have this alliance with Saudi Arabia. And I don't know why at least one regime can't stand up to the Saudis. You know, if the point is to have a cleaner environment and a better climate, yet we are still so dependent on foreign oil at the hands of dictators, why can't we just let that one go?
Yeah, and especially when it's a global oil price. The United States of America hardly imports any oil from the Middle East. I don't know what the latest statistics are, but it's very little. And mostly America's dominance of Middle Eastern oil, ever since, you know, Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney explained this in 1991. Our control over that oil is so that we can cut off China in the event of a conflict with them, and so that we can lord our control over those resources over our friends and allies, the Koreans, the Japanese, the Australians, and others who are dependent on that oil. And the whole thing is crazy. America should just abandon our empire. The whole thing is murder-suicide. It costs us everything. You know, there was a Princeton study that said from 1976, the year I was born, to the dawn of the terror war in the year 2001, America misallocated $7 trillion so-called securing Middle Eastern oil when we never spent the smallest fraction of that amount on actually pumping Middle Eastern oil into our cars.
And now our cars
It's been a
are
lot
all
more
gonna be
since
run on-
then.
Yeah, exactly right. I would love to see that $7 trillion back. Buy me a hell of a Louis Vuitton bag, Scott. I'll see you in Vegas in a
Well,
few
it's
days,
been
my
10
friend.
trillion since W. Bush, so
Bastards, all of them. Thank you, my dear. Good to talk to you.
thank you.